Hey guys, it's Bobby Legs, and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches. Today I will be reviewing the Casio G-SHOCK Master of G Gravitymaster GRB200-1A2. So a few days ago, I did a video on the Mudmaster, and I'll put a link to it here and in the description below. And I had mentioned that when I unboxed the thing, I was like, oh my God, this is like the biggest. It was just huge. It was just over the top huge. And I was like, how is this gonna ever look on my little 6 3/4 inch wrist? The funny thing is, I unboxed the Gravity Master a week before, and had the same reaction. But this watch is actually bigger, at least width-wise, than the Mudmaster. Insane. Now I'm a G-SHOCK Square guy. I've been a G-SHOCK Square guy since I was a pre-teenager or teenager, and even to this day. But lately, I've been finding myself attracted to some of these other G-SHOCKs that are out there. So I jumped in and I bought this, and I dig it, man. I really do dig it. I dig the size. It doesn't bother me that it's huge. The reason why, I mean, these are light, so it's not like a stainless steel watch that's going to have some weight to it. These feel really light on wrist, so I dig them. I dig all about everything about them. So let's jump into some of the specs here. We have a 63 millimeter case width diameter, I guess you could call it, a 54 millimeter, just a hair above a 54 millimeter lug to lug, and an 18.3 millimeter case thickness. A couple of things that I want to point out before I get into. Now I'm gonna talk about the functionality a little bit on this watch. I'm not gonna get into detail in this video. It's just there's a lot of stuff you can do here with this watch. So I'm just gonna list the greatest hits and go over it, very quickly. But one thing I like about this, so you do have in the bezel material, you have these three layers of resin, but you also have some carbon fiber inserts, and that top layer is transparent, so you could see the carbon fiber, which is pretty awesome. And also these three buttons on the side, the compass and the connect to the Bluetooth and the altimeter, the way the buttons are positioned, it's supposed to resemble a fighter jet control stick. So that's actually pretty cool too, to keep with the flight theme of this watch. So let's talk a little bit more about it. The total weight is only 80 grams. You got a 2-year battery life on this one. You have, shock resistant, it's vibration resistant, mineral glass on the crystal here. So not sapphire, of course. And then you have this resin band. And look, the one thing that I'm not crazy about this watch is the this buckle here. Like, I don't know if that's resin or plastic or whatever it is, and that's not the issue, the material per se. It's when, and I'm gonna put it on wrist to show you guys real quick what I mean. So, and I'll show an outdoor shot as well at some point. But so here, fine, looks okay, whatever. But it always gives me an issue. Like, it takes like a long time. See, actually, that was actually pretty quick. Sorry, I knocked in the camera. But usually I have much more. It's much more difficult for me to unbuckle from here, and that's what I liked about the Mudmaster. It was a stainless steel buckle, and it just, was easier to unfasten the strap. So that's probably my one biggest gripe of this watch. And like I said, that actually was pretty quick how I was able to unbuckle, maybe because it was the angle, or maybe it's getting broken in. Anyway, maybe that won't be an issue down the road, but that's the one thing that I wasn't too happy about. I also like the strap on the Mudmaster better, but whatever. We'll do a comparison video another time. So this is a 4-quad sensor. And what does that mean? Well, that means that you have a compass, you have an altimeter, barometer, temperature, and what's the fourth one? The step counter. So you do have a step counter in this watch, which is actually kind of a neat feature. The compass. So north is going to be, I think north is going to be somewhere around this way. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Then you have the altimeter here, and 600 feet above. I would assume that means above sea level. That's probably about right. I think so. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. I mean, it is a little hilly over here, so you know, we'll call that a win. And then there is a barometer. So you do have a barometer, and it'll measure, and it'll beep and change if there's big changes in the barometer of outside, or whatever the pressure outside is. And then temperature. Now, one thing, and I'll mention this with the I mentioned this with the Mudmaster. The temperature, it's a little tricky because your body weight. I've noticed my body temperature affects this number here, and I think I read somewhere where if you want to get a real, like a true gauge of the temperature in the room or outside, wherever you're at, like you needed to be set out for about 20 minutes and then engage that temperature function. So I don't know how. I mean, maybe it's useful to tell my body temperature. I don't know, but anyway, I'm sure there's a better. You know, somebody's figured out a better way to handle that. You can record. Then you have, I believe that is tells you when sunset is, and then you got the timer, of course, alarm. I think there's 5 alarms. World timer. So you have around 38 time zones. I read somewhere, and back to time. Display, and here's where you get your step. It counts your steps. Now, I believe with this particular model, you can measure steps from point A to point B. So not just a daily step counter, but if you wanted to know how many steps it takes from go to your car to your house, you can do that with this this watch. So anyway, guys, you know, that's just a big overview. This watch is not for everybody, I could tell you that. Okay, so when I did the Mudmaster, I got a lot of comments about people, even people commenting about like having 6.5, 7.5 inch, 7 3/4 inch wrists, saying that this watch was too big for them. And I get that. This watch, like I said, is not for everybody, but you know, some of you might be able to dig it. Like I said, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and it's definitely a big watch on my wrist, but I dig it. You know, it's very, very light. It's just a fun watch, man. It's just a fun watch. And so anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this, the Gravitymaster, the Mudmaster, watches, G-Shocks, other than the Square. I love to hear what you guys have to say. I love connecting with you guys. And please like and subscribe, and click that bell icon to get updates every time I upload new videos. I love making these videos, and I hope you like them too. And have a good one.